In 2026, the pursuit of financial independence hit a major catalyst, the arrival of consumer-ready AI automation. For people trying to escape the traditional 9 to 5, these tools looked like the ultimate shortcut. To understand why, you have to look at the math of the FIRE movement. This graph shows how your savings rate dictates your retirement date. When your savings climb to 50 or 75% of your income, the decades usually required for retirement compress into just a few years of work. But those targets are difficult to hit on a standard salary alone. This gap represents the secondary income you need to bridge if you want to reach that 75% savings goal within a single decade. The modern proposed solution is the fully automated side hustle, using AI agents to handle every step of content generation and digital commerce. The promise is total passivity. You deploy software to research, create, and publish products for you, building a digital business that functions without technical expertise or daily human intervention. However, choosing to bypass human labor entirely introduces a specific risk regarding the legal status of the resulting business. If a side hustle is built purely on automation, its long-term security is tied to an unresolved legal void. Instead of a path to independence, you may be building a business that lacks the legal foundation to survive as a permanent asset. This comparison matrix breaks down the disconnect between the software's marketing and the actual business requirements. The marketing pitch focuses on the low barrier to entry, zero inventory costs, content that can be generated in seconds, and revenue that flows in with no manual work. The operational reality looks different. Because the software is accessible to everyone, markets saturate instantly. You face constant platform dependency, and most importantly, you have zero intellectual property protection for what the AI creates. As AI-assisted production becomes a commodity, the primary challenge has moved towards securing distribution and finding a way to legally defend your products from competitors. Passive income is only a retirement asset if you can actually own and protect the digital property that generates it. The most visible versions of this are faceless YouTube channels and fully automated SEO blogs. The core loop relies on large language models to churn out daily scripts and articles. The software replicates content at a volume that would be impossible for a human team to sustain. The goal is to dominate search traffic and capture ad revenue without ever needing to build a recognizable brand or unique identity. This model runs directly into the U.S. Copyright Office's current stance. They have been clear. Purely AI-generated works sit in an ownership void. Because there is no human authorship in the actual expression of the work, these automated outputs are ineligible for traditional copyright. Commercially, this means any competitor can take your entire catalog, republish it, and monetize it for themselves. You have no legal standing to stop them. You might generate temporary cash flow this way, but you aren't building a defensible asset that can support you for the next 30 years. Moving beyond the marketing requires looking at the actual stakeholders fighting over the rights to AI content. This diagram shows the collision between AI developers, creative professionals, and legal entities upholding human authorship. The center overlap is the unclear ownership gray area. When you run an automated channel, your entire business operates inside this unresolved legal gap. Operating entirely within this zone creates a massive commercial risk. You're building a revenue stream on a foundation the law won't protect. There is also the liability of training data. Prompting for a specific style, like Disney-inspired art, can pull your business into active infringement. Relying on recognizable intellectual property to drive clicks often leads to copyright strikes and permanent account termination on major marketplaces. When you prioritize speed and automation above all else, you increase the risk of a complete, unrecoverable business wipeout. Then there is the digital artisan model, creating items like planners, coloring books, and templates using Canva and Midjourney. You can use prompts to instantly design high-margin digital products that cost nothing to manufacture. The intended outcome is a massive digital store on a platform like Etsy that generates sales around the clock. This chart shows the reality of that marketplace. Because these products take only seconds to generate, the total supply has spiked vertically. At the same time, organic visibility for new sellers has plummeted. If anyone can generate a product in seconds, the only way to get noticed is through expensive paid ads. which often cancels out the passive profit margins that made the hustle attractive. To find a viable path, we must map the level of human input against the defensibility of the business. Purely automated blogs and unedited AI art fall into this red zone. They require minimal effort, but they offer zero protection from competitors or platform changes. The green zone is where you'll find curated and human-edited tools. These require more effort, but they are much more likely to be recognized as copyrightable assets. Verifiable human curation is the mandatory bridge you need to cross to leave that legal gray area. To transform an AI output into a business asset you actually own, you must demonstrate extensive human modification and arrangement. This decision tree can help you choose an AI path based on what you actually need. If your goal is fast cash and you aren't worried about long-term ownership, you can work as a freelance AI operator, essentially a prompt jockey for other companies. This offers immediate income, but it's another form of trading time for money. It doesn't build the sellable business value you need for a FIRE portfolio. If you want a long-term asset, you use AI to create raw materials, but you heavily modify them with your own original human design and curation. You lose the total automation, but you gain legal safety. It requires you to actively manage the brand and learn design skills. AI is an incredible accelerator for businesses led by humans, but it's a dangerous replacement for human ownership in the digital economy.